Were you ever one of those people who would go to a place like Subway, order a sandwich that you liked, then proceed to never order anything but that one sandwich ever again? I don't do that because Subway is yucky. I only eat real fast food, like Little Caesars. I have done a very similar thing, though, in other games. Check out my Marvel Rivals stats, for instance. I'm not a fan of change. I like sticking to one thing, and the same can be said for everyone's favorite sword game, For Honor. I've played this game since beta. I know, I've got quite the indomitable spirit. When I first picked up the game, the hero I was drawn to first was Peacekeeper. Back then, we only had the Knights, Vikings, and Samurai, and not all of them had these same obnoxious movesets yet, so playing her was really fun. She wasn't the strongest hero, but the fantasy of being a lightly armored, speedy knight who that goes around stabbing pagans in the kidneys was all I wanted, and I got it. Fast forward almost 10 whole years later, and the only thing about her that has really changed is that she got an unblockable attack that she can only use if the opponent is bleeding. Something no other hero in the game has to worry about. The fantasy of being a little bastard that runs around stabbing people is still there. The problem is that the fantasy of being a little bastard that runs around stabbing people is still fucking there. Almost every hero in the game has gotten a major rework, while every new hero power creeps the old ones. Yet after almost a decade, Peacekeeper has received one major buff. Yeah, they did recently give her the ability to chain after dodge attacks, but everyone else can already do that, so who gives a fuck? Oh, but Tom Jack, she's excellent in duels. Everyone is excellent in duels. Newsflash, no matter what hero you're playing, parrying works the exact same. Unblockables work the exact same. Mix-ups work the exact same way. She's only good in duels because she doesn't have to worry about getting externals, which renders her new unblockables useless. Peacekeeper is shit. Don't let the big sword game YouTubers fool you. They have tens of thousands of hours in For Honor. They are playing a completely different game from us. To the average person who logs in and plays for maybe an hour or two before getting off, or someone like me who plays a lot but not as much as other games, Peacekeeper is the worst hero in For Honor, and it's not even remotely close. I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's go back to square one. Chances are, if you've never heard of For Honor, that rant made no sense. For Honor is a 4v4 fighting game most of the time, and the rest of the time is spent wondering where your damn team is at. There are a multitude of heroes to pick from, ranging from Knights, Samurai, Vikings, Chinese, and this cute little bargain bin right here named Creatively Bankrupt. If I had to briefly describe each faction, it would be that the Knights have the best fashion and funniest feats, the Vikings have the worst fashion but the most obnoxious heroes, and the Samurai have Hitokiri. Don't ask me about the Woolen and Outlanders. Even the people who play those factions don't give a hoot. You know what they say, actions speak louder than words, but in this case, my actions are some very loud words. Dude, call me Phineas and Ferb, because where the fuck is Perry? What we could do is talk about all the diverse modes that this game offers, but mama didn't raise no liar. There are 4 modes in this game and only 1 mode if you have even a sliver of sanity. There is Dominion, really the only game mode in For Honor that matters since the devs balance everything around it. Remember how I was talking about how people would counter the Peacekeeper argument by saying she was good in 1v1s? That's cool and all, but why the hell does that matter when the devs balance this game around team fights? You're admitting yourself she blows chunks because the one thing she is serviceable in is something you'll experience once a game most likely. But Tom Jack, what about duels? That would work since you don't have to worry about ganks and BS fights. That's a good point, dear viewer. I should have thought of that. Garçon, give this man 10 sloppy toppy. This is half a me problem and half the other dude's problem, but whether it's me or the other guy, one of us is going to take the match personally and consider the loss an attack on our individual character. That's just how things are in this game. Despite what the text chat says at all hours of the day, it is never a good fight. God, I was supposed to talk about all the modes and how they work, but I completely lost the plot. You're a big boy. I'm sure you can figure out what 1v1s and 2v2s are. Dominion is domination, but there are little dudes to murder at the middle point. Breach is like Dominion, but if it was a 1v4 because your tard team doesn't understand the importance of the fucking archer points. I've tried getting into 2v2s recently, but it gets tiring fast when the other 2 douches are losing, so they start ganking in order to compensate for their very tiny penis. I'm not opposed to that kind of thing in brawls, but if you're gonna do it, at least make it clear during the first rounds that we're going to play like that. Don't pull it out at the end when you're losing because you can't fight without your teammates tying their foreskin together. How do the heroes play? Like the exact same. Every single one of them. As stated near the beginning, nearly every hero, except the ones that need it, have undergone major reworks, and by reworks I mean giving them all the exact same moveset so as to work towards this unattainable goal of balance. There is not a single game in the history of planet Earth that is balanced. They just don't exist. Somehow, someway, video game devs got this inane idea in their head that if they can rebalance things so all the heroes, champions, what have you, reach a win rate of 50%, then the game is balanced. What the fuck? No, that's not how that works at all. How does a hero reaching a mediocre win rate equal balance? Sometimes players just suck and go on losing streaks with a character. You can't control that. Same thing the other way around. Sometimes someone just does good with a character and the win rate goes up. You cannot account for these things. I have a fairly decent win rate for Peacekeeper, at least high enough to not be embarrassed to show you. Does this mean Peacekeeper is balanced? No, it just means I'm fucking cracked at this game. No matter the handicap, I'll whoop anyone's ass.
No, you got him in the Vortex.
Dude, yeah, they got Vortexed. Oh, he got Vortexed! Bitch!
Dead by Daylight tries to do the same thing with their killers, and has that worked? I don't actually know, but I'm guessing not. In order to attain this elusive balance, Gooby has made the bright idea to just give everyone the exact same moveset of unreactable bash, undodgeable mix-ups, so that everyone is on the same playing field and therefore balance has been achieved. Firstly, that's stupid as all hell. This is a hero-based fighting game. What is the point if none of the heroes play like a hero? Secondly, this will change nothing. If two players are playing as Zhang Jun, as unfair and broken as he is, the person with more experience with JJ is going to win every time. That's just how PvP games work. It doesn't matter if they have access to the same tools. The other player sucks, plain and simple. No matter how you rebalance the game, that will never change. So why work to make every hero plain and boring instead of creating a character through their unique playstyle and movesets? As annoying as Jormungandr was pre-rework, the man had a character. He was a stamina bully who could apply hard pressure if played correctly. That was his thing. The main issue was everyone who had a bash could drain stamina, which made any pair with Jorm infinitely more annoying. If he was the only one who could harm your stamina, I don't think there would be as big as an outcry. Would he still be annoying? Yeah, probably, but who cares? This game will never be balanced, so go wild with the characters. You want to hear one of my biggest controversial For Honor takes, but not my biggest one. We'll get to that one soon. I think Vortigern, aka Blackprior, is the most balanced character in the whole game. Except for his dodge attack. I don't know why they gave him that. From my lurking on the internet, this seems to be an unpopular opinion, but I'm dying on this hill regardless. People call her OP because of her shield flip, which, if I remember correctly, can flip anything in the game that isn't a ranged attack or a guard break. Sure, that sounds strong, and it is if you can pull it off. The thing is, I have never seen anyone both complain that it's too strong while also possessing the ability to do it themselves. It's not as easy as a heavy parry. It takes some skill to do. Listen closely, kiddos, because Papa Jack here is going to tell you the secret to countering Vortigern's shield flip, alright? The trick is to fucking sit still, you spaz. If Vortigern fails his shield flip, it's a free guard break. It is no different from a baited heavy attack. You're just mad that you light spam nonstop and the enemy Vortigern caught onto that. If only that were the only reason people hated her. But there is another one that's harder to defend, but damn, I'm gonna do it anyways. Vortigern's Funbreaker is absolute BS. There's no arguing that.
Wee! Funbreaker his ass. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. You ain't from Detroit.
He's mine to fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funbreaker! Funbreaker! Funbreaker!
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, Tegan. This game just
That's not me.
refuses to have anything. Get back.
It completely negates the already inconsistent revenge. It's only a tier 3, and there is literally nothing you can do to stop it, unlike other characters' feats. I get mad at this game a lot. Despite the near decade I've spent contemplating punching a hole through my own cranium over this game, I've never once gotten angry at Funbreaker being used on me. Funbreaker is so comically broken that it wraps all the way around to being funny as hell, and I just can't seem to find it in me to hate this feat. It is probably unhealthy for this feat to exist in the game. Hell, you could say that about half the feats in general. But I hope and pray that it never gets removed or changed. The one nerf it did get was fair and understandable, but I hope that the Funbreaker we have now continues to exist until this game dies. And you can bet your ass that until that day comes, I will use and abuse this thing until someone finally decides to follow up on their death threats. Jeez, Tom, you know, for someone who complains about the balance of this game, you sure seem to be alright with it if you're the one using it. Firstly, yes, you are correct. Rules for thee, but not for me and all that. Secondly, I find it okay when it's hilariously broken, like Anakin from Battlefront 2. That was a funny kind of OP. Characters like Zhang Jun, who just suck the fun out of the game merely by existing, are not the fun kind of OP. Thirdly, that wasn't even my worst For Honor take. While we're here, I might as well share with the class and give you my greatest/dumbest For Honor takes that you've ever heard. Number 1, we've covered this already, but PK is the biggest pile of crap in the game, no matter what the For Honor YouTubers say, whose opinions the community echoes. I will die on the hill that she needs to be buffed. In fact, to make up for how horrible she is, make her the most OP hero in the game for like a week. Let me have fun trashing people with her, then you can balance her to be up to speed with everyone else. It's only fair. Number 2, I don't think, under any circumstance, that hyper armor lights should exist in any capacity in this game. No exceptions, not even with Peacekeeper. They are BS and unfair, and is one of the many reasons I call these stupid French devs the hacks that they are. Berserker is public enemy number 1 with this. Dude already has hyper armor heavies despite being an assassin, and the best deflect in the game because it's the only one Vortiger can't shield flip. If the devs are hell-bent on keeping Berserker's hyper armor lights, then he should get a fitting nerf, and my recommendation would be to make him the only assassin in the game who still has Reflex Guard. Yeah, Reflex Guard sucks, but I feel like the Zerkmains deserve it for being such an insufferable bunch. Number 3, this one is minor, but I'm passionate about my dislike for it. I hate the hero skins. 90% of them are kinda ugly, and they heavily limit the one thing this game does better than most games. Fashion! The character customization in For Honor is honest to God one of the best in modern games, and I would dare say the best in any live service game, which is why I hate the hero skins so much. They limit the creativity, and they just don't look very good, to be honest. We could have gotten new armor pieces that aren't texture swaps instead, and yeah, we get them sometimes, but think about how many more we could have gotten instead of whatever the hell this is. Number 4, and this is a big one. This is going to piss off way more than the For Honor community. This is going to make the entire fighting game community think I'm an idiot, but here we go. I don't think read-based gameplay takes nearly as much skill as reaction-based gameplay. Crucify me all you want, hate as much as you can, but deep down you all know I'm right. Performing reads does take skill, I won't deny it, but at the end of the day, no matter how hard you work to try and read your opponent, there is never a 100% guarantee. It's all rock, paper, scissors. You can study your enemy as much as you want and think you have the upper hand, but he could just out of nowhere random bullshit go, and none of it amounted to anything. At least with reaction-based gameplay, there is certainty in it. You can practice that, improving your reaction times, and definitively tell that you've gotten better. I think there is a healthy mix. I'm not against read-based being in the game, but I think it's stupid for it to make up 90% of fights in this game. I'm tired of opponents beating me just because they got lucky once, despite the fact I was beating them within an inch of their life not 1 minute ago. Especially when it's a character like Zhang Jun who got one lucky parry and now my entire stamina bar is gone. Hey, didn't you just talk about how you're— Shut up! Only I can criticize my own hypocrisy. Is that all I got? I'm probably missing something, but for now, I think that's enough sword game whining.
I took it. Now I'm healing.
Can a wigga borrow a fry?
How the hell can a wiggle bar?
No, wait, right, what are you gonna do? Give it back? I wasn't even shocked that he said the word. I was shocked because what are you gonna do? Give it back?
Do I actually hate this game? Yes, I absolutely loathe this game. Every night before bed, I pray to God that Assassin's Creed Shadows is a financial flop in the hopes that it affects the For Honor dev team as well, so they can suffer just as much as I have. I have a policy with companies that unless they wrong me specifically, I don't have a problem with them. People hate a company like Limited Run Games because it's actually harming physical media more than it is helping them, but they've yet to upset me personally, so I think I'll keep buying from them until something like that happens. That's why I hate Bungie and Destiny so damn much, because those whore thieves stole my goddamn DLC that I paid